Every morning, you step outside with a cup of coffee and glance across your backyard. Everything looks familiar. The flowers bloom in the same corners, the leaves sway gently in the breeze, and the birds visit the feeder just as they did yesterday. But there is something most people never realize. The backyard you see is not the same backyard the birds see. On the very same branch, under the very same sunlight, two completely different worlds exist side by side. The human world is built from colors we know well: red, green, and blue. To us, that seems like the full picture. But for birds, that picture is only the beginning. When a northern cardinal lands on a fence and surveys the yard, it is looking at a scene far richer and more complex than anything human eyes can detect. Invisible signals glow across leaves and flowers. Hidden patterns cover feathers, tree bark, and even the faces of the people standing nearby. A world of information surrounds them every second, yet most of it remains completely invisible to us. If you're curious to discover what your backyard truly looks like through the eyes of its feathered visitors, be sure to like this video, because what you're about to learn may completely change the way you see the birds outside your window. Most of us believe the colors we see are the whole truth. A red flower is red, a green leaf is green, a patch of snow is white. But for birds, the world does not end there. Human eyes have 3 types of color receptors, allowing us to see red, green, and blue. From those 3 basic channels, the brain blends millions of shades. That already makes our world feel rich and colorful. But inside the eyes of many birds, there is one more door. They have a 4th type of color receptor. That means birds do not simply see more colors than we do. They see an entire range of color that humans can barely imagine. This is the ultraviolet range, or UV light, a kind of light that exists beyond the limits of human vision. To us, the bark of a birch tree may look pale, quiet, and grayish-white. But to a bird, that same bark may appear like a detailed map, covered with patches, streaks, bright markings, and tiny signals. A field of snow that looks plain white to us may not look plain at all. Through a bird's eyes, it may reflect different ultraviolet patterns, revealing tracks, scattered seeds, or places where another creature recently passed. What most people never realize is that birds are not just seeing a prettier backyard. They are seeing more information. A young leaf may reveal how fresh it is. A berry may show signs of ripeness. A flower petal may glow like a hidden signpost. Even the feathers of another bird may carry signals that human eyes completely miss. So when a small bird tilts its head and looks around your yard, it is not simply admiring the view. It is reading an invisible language written in light. And inside that hidden layer of light are the clues that help it find food. Choose a mate, avoid danger, and remember your backyard. To human eyes, a male northern cardinal is already striking enough, with bright red feathers glowing against green leaves. It looks almost like a tiny flame resting on a backyard fence in the morning light. But to another bird, that red is not the whole story. Hidden within those feathers are signals human eyes cannot detect. Some areas may reflect ultraviolet light, creating shades and patterns that remain completely invisible to us. To birds, this is not just beauty, it is information. A bright, even, well-reflecting plumage may reveal health, age, feeding ability, and even genetic quality. What we simply call a beautiful red bird may be, to another bird, a living resume displayed in sunlight. During breeding season, these signals become even more important. A bird is not only listening to the song of a possible mate, it is also reading the markings in the feathers, judging tiny details we would never notice. But the secret of ultraviolet light is not limited to feathers. It also appears on the flowers growing right in your backyard. To human eyes, a flower may look yellow, purple, or white, but through a bird's vision, many flowers can appear as if they are carrying glowing signposts. On the petals, there may be lines, bright spots, or ultraviolet rings that guide visitors directly toward the nectar. Like neon arrows in a city at night, these markings help birds save time and energy. Instead of testing every flower at random, they can quickly recognize which blossoms are worth visiting. The strange part is that these signs have been there all along, right in front of us, yet we almost never know they exist. So when a hummingbird hovers in front of a cluster of flowers, or a small bird moves quickly from one bloom to the next, it is not simply acting on blind instinct. It is following a sophisticated signal system written in colors humans do not even have names for. In that familiar backyard, flowers are not just blooming for beauty. Feathers are not just colorful for us to admire. Everything is taking part in a silent conversation, where light, color, and life exchange information every second. On some afternoons, you may see a flock of birds crossing the sky before disappearing toward the horizon. They carry no map. There are no road signs above them. No visible path is drawn through the air. So how can such small creatures travel hundreds, even thousands of miles, and still find their way? The answer is far stranger than most of us imagine. Some birds may not simply sense direction. They may be able to see it. Inside a bird's retina are special proteins, often known as cryptochromes. When light enters the eye, these molecules may respond to Earth's magnetic field. From that reaction, the bird's brain can receive a kind of information humans do not have. Imagine looking at your familiar backyard. But over that scene, there is a faint layer of light, like a living compass laid across your vision. Not a metal needle pointing north, but a visual sense that helps the body know where north and south are. For migrating birds, this ability is like a secret map written across the sky. When a small bird leaves your yard in the fall, it may cross cities, forests, wide rivers, mountains, and places it has never seen before. But through its eyes, Earth is not a confusing empty space. It is a vast system of signals. Light, the position of the sun, the shape of the land, scents carried by the wind, and the quiet magnetic field beneath its feet all come together into a hidden navigation network. The amazing part is that all of this begins with a pair of eyes that look so delicate. Those eyes do not only see branches, feeders, or the shadow of a cat near the fence. They may also read deeper layers of information, signals we pass through every day without noticing at all. So the next time you see a bird standing still on your roof, its head slightly tilted as if it is thinking, it may not be simply looking down at the yard. It may be sensing its place inside a much larger invisible map, one that stretches across the sky, the land, and the long journey ahead. So the next time you see a bird land at your feeder, remember this. It is not only seeing seeds, branches, or your shadow behind the window. It is watching a world with far more layers than that. Inside those tiny eyes, every seed may carry clues about freshness. Every leaf may reveal a safe hiding place. Every movement in the yard may be analyzed in an instant. And even your familiar face may appear with signals you never knew you had. The strange part is that all of this is happening every day, right in your ordinary backyard. We see a quiet patch of grass and trees. Birds see food maps, danger signals, invisible colors, floral guideposts, hidden markings on feathers, and perhaps even layers of direction human eyes will never touch. When you care for your backyard, plant more flowers, keep fresh water available, and place feeders in safe spots, you are not just making your own space more beautiful. You are building a small paradise inside a universe far brighter and more complex than human vision can fully understand. Now that you know this, will you look at the birds at your feeder differently? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you love the small hidden mysteries of nature around your home, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this secret world still has so much left to reveal.